Alrighty, welcome back. We are on the 13th and final installment of the Adventures in Log Cabin, or Adventure in Log Cabin. This is the final part. We've assembled all 12 blocks, and now we are down to the sashing, the cornerstones, the borders. Today we're going to go over all of that and finish it up. What you see behind me is the quilt for, wait, let me turn this way. This was the second quilt. This is the one that I was using to test the blocks. It is actually upside down, but once I got it up there, I definitely did not want to have to take it down and put it back up again. So this is the second one. There is a first one, and today we're going to be working on the third one, and I almost have the fourth one already put together because I wanted to check some of the measurements and see if it worked out. So this is the fourth one. This is the one that I was actually working on. Well, actually, when the pattern originally came out, these were the pieces I was putting together. But we're going to call it the third one today. And the fourth one was the one I was doing on camera with you guys. Everybody hear me okay? Just want to make sure you can all hear me. Okay, so let's just jump right in. You should have, what we're going to do is first we're going to start with these little bad boys. So you should have cut out, in total, you should have 31 of these sashing / border pieces. Now there's more borders, and we're going to talk about those later today, and I'm going to let you have at it. But when I tell you what to do, I want you to listen, and I want you to do it the way I told you to. Don't just cut a strip and slap it on there. We're going to talk about that, okay? Your long armor will greatly appreciate if you hear me out, okay? All right, so here we have, this should be 31, but I believe I've already separated it. So there are 19 in this stack, and then I just cut a bunch of these. I think there's 25 here. So we're going to start putting those together in just a minute. And then you're going to separate the other, should be 9, 10, 3, yeah, and then there's 10 left over. You're going to set those off to the side because we're going to do those after we do these. Okay, so let's come over here to the, all right, now come on. Not that one. That one. All right, hang on. Somehow I got on the wrong thing. Okay. So here's where we're just going to take each one of these. Take one of these, and mine are batik, so it doesn't really matter up or down on these. And we're going to match them up just like this and stitch it together. All right, so this first one I'm going to show you, okay? Let's come on over here to the other camera. Ooh, I put down this green one because I thought maybe if I put down the green one, it won't be quite so bright. Okay, and I think I left my other ironing wool mat over there. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna stitch them all down just 1/4 of an inch at the end, and we're gonna put 19 of these together, okay? So let me put this right here, and then we're going to get started, okay? Everybody got me? And we're just going to keep stitching. All right. Now that we have that done, let's come over here. And we're going to take our huge long strip here and we're going to grab our little down on the cutting mat. That's a little bit different. I'm working on a couple of reels, short videos. One of them is about thread cutting, and the other one will be about a light box, and I hope to have that up tonight. I'll put that on my Facebook, and I'll put that up on YouTube as well. I just decided I'm going to try and do a couple of these shorts and reels. I see everybody does them, and mine's more, some of them are pretty dramatic, but mine's more informational than it will be dramatic, so I probably won't have a whole lot of views, but that's okay. I'm just doing it because I think it'll help. All right. And then I don't know about you guys, but I like to chain iron too. Have you ever done a chain ironing? Okay, so here's the gist. On these, I highly recommend that you iron towards the 12-inch strip. So if you're using the dark, iron towards the dark. If you're using a white, iron towards the white. Okay? And if we do that for every single one of these, whether we're doing this part of the border or sashing, or the other part of the sashing, which we're going to get to in just a few minutes, then I think you'll find that nesting is a whole lot easier. I was doing it on this one behind me and on the wall, and it definitely proved to be very, very helpful to iron everything towards the same fabric. The hard part was if the on that doing them on point, it was easier to iron it in the other direction, which later caused a little bit of confusion. But I fixed it. We have 10 on so far. Make sure you chime in there and say hello. If you're not sure, if you're in the email for the next quilt along, which will be starting in, I don't have an exact time, but I will definitely have an email out to you, but it'll be starting in about the next 2 to 3 weeks. In the meantime, we will still be doing lives. We'll just be maybe catching up on a couple of UFOs while we're polishing up this quilt and getting the information out for the other one. Well, hello, Miss Jerry. Welcome. You got Miss Claudine with you today, or you're doing it alone? For anybody who's just joined, and I'm going to assume that Miss Jerry's been on the whole time, we are taking 19, I believe that was the number, 19? Yes, 19 of the strips, 19 of these strips, and we're sewing on the square onto one end. Now there is one that's going to require another strip on the end, but we'll deal with that when the time comes. All right, so let's set these aside. We don't need these just yet, but they are done. They were strip pieced, and then they were basically strip ironed, chain ironed. All right, so let's get these out of the way. Okay. Next, we are going to, I had to rip out some seams earlier today. I realized I had some other fabric on here, which I am out of, and had to go with a different one. All right, so all of your blocks at this point should be 12.5 by 12.5. If they're not, either go in and cut them, trim them down to the right size, or add an extra border like we did with the one that was, that wound up being too small. Let me see if I can find that one. So this one in this mess is definitely way too small. So what I would do is I would just go with another piece of fabric and just add it on the outside. Just add one all the way around. Now some of them you can just add it to one side here and one side here, but this one, because of its design, you'd want to put it a little bit on both sides, all four sides. Going it alone today? Aw, Miss Claudine doing okay? All right. So these are the three we're working on today. Well, I say the three. I'm sorry. I think my brain is on meltdown today. Okay, so what we're doing today is we are putting in the sashings. Now for this one, this one goes here, this one is next, and then this one is next. So it's 1, 2, and then 3. I'm going to put this right here. We are going to be putting a sashing strip on the right side, my right side. To you it may look left, but this is the right side. We're going to put a sashing strip on all the left sides. And these are the ones that do not have, I repeat, do not have the yellow square on it, okay? And we're going to do this to all 4 rows. Now, hopefully, you have already laid it out how you want it. So this is my row 1. This is my row 2. This is my row 3. And this is my row 4. I have already stitched my sashing strip down to these rows right here. So all these have the sashing strip on it. So what we're going to do right now is we're just going to go ahead and chain piece all 3 of these, one right after the other. Do I have any questions that I need to answer before we get going? There's only 2 of them. I only have to thread cut 2, so that would have been no big deal. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. We're going to iron towards the dark. Got my handy dandy wood iron. Which saves my butt on more than one occasion. Okay, move that out of the way. Yep. Had to look at this picture. This is the one of the flag, and it messes me up because I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, which side is the right side and which side is the left side? Which is up and which is down? Okay, so that is my block number 3, and then we're doing block number 2. And I'm doing these out of order. And I, a long time ago, ran out of this black fabric right here, so I went with a, what they called a charcoal, almost like a batik, but not a batik. It's fossil fern, and I think I have it in my Etsy shop, but that's neither here nor there. I just had to go to that one. Okay, so now we're going to, let's see, I should have it on all of them. Okay. Yes, okay. Put that right there. So now we're going to start assembling the rows, because now I've already put the sashing on these all the same way, all on the right side. So now we're going to start assembling the rows. So on the first one, on this one, which is going to be my block number 1, that's the top left corner, block number 1, we're going to take one of these strips and we're going to add one of the yellow squares to it. Let me get this out of the way. My iron's in the way. And so I have a couple of them left over, and I think this may be the only one that requires it, but we'll find out as we go along. Okay, and let's come back over here. So this is the one strip that we need a yellow square at the end of the strip. Okay? All right, but what we're going to do first, for this to work out the way we need it to work out, we need to put one strip at the bottom of the row. Okay, you following me? Take this strip and we're going to put it at the bottom of the row. Now if you wanted to, I believe you can go ahead and do that for every single one of them. At the bottom of every single block, you can put one of these. Let's do this first one together, okay? I have nested it together. And basically all that is I've taken the two pieces, because they're all ironed to the dark side, they should nest up together, just like that. Just make sure it feels good all the way down. And pin it in place. You can start from that side or you can start from the other side, it doesn't matter. And then I'm going to pin this one right here. Okay, let's get that off of there. Okay, and then come over here. Make sure it stays lined up. And stitch it on down. I get really close to the pin because I want to get that first row, the one that's tucked underneath here, I want to make sure it's down before I pull that pin out. Because once you pull that pin out, it's usually going to slip on you. I'm also feeling underneath there to make sure that nothing else slides out from underneath. Okay. All right, let's turn it this way just so I get a little more surface space there. And then again, we're going to iron it out. Iron to the dark side. And then we're going to turn it again, and we're going to add the next one. And we're going to let it, what I like to do is I like to take it, get up a little bit closer here, and I slide it down until I feel it drop into place, and then I push it back and let it butt up against that seam. And that's how I nest. Pin it in place, and I try to leave this one not pinned so that I can catch it hopefully before I get to the needle. Unfortunately, it doesn't always happen that way. Okay, let's come back over here. All right, so I'm trying to catch that first seam to make sure it stays down. Okay. If you feel like that it's pushing your fabric forward, like it's creating too much friction on top, loosen up your foot a little bit. Raise your foot up just a little bit until you feel comfortable with how it's pushing the fabric around. Okay. All right. And then we're ironing that down to the outside. Okay, and then we're going to add the very last piece. Once this piece is in place, you shouldn't have to worry about another, oh, this one is ironed the other way. Let's get that back over there. Once this piece is in place, then all the others should fall into line without the necessity of putting another yellow block on. Except for maybe at the bottom. No, according to this, you should be fine. This one is just this is the catalyst block. This is the block that starts the whole thing. It's the very first block, the one in the top left corner. I'm going to pin that there. I didn't do a very good job of ironing that, did I? Let's try that again. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Claudine. You know, sometimes when you pull up SRQ Quilter's page, if you tap on the circle, the picture circle, the circle picture, because it'll say live on there. Or I know I have trouble finding it every once in a while too. Anyways, there is a special way you can do it. Maybe next time we get together I can show you what I know. Okay. And if I leave my mouse up there, then I'll remember to flip the camera. All right. So we get that piece down, making sure it stays lined up. Okay. Let me check my seam. It looks good. Perfect. All right. The other times when I put on Facebook, it just popped right up, but today it wouldn't come up. Oh, that's weird. That's weird. Yeah, I tried to send out an invite. Gosh, this thing was fighting me like crazy today. I tried to send out an invite to everybody that I could from my page. So if you are not friends with me on Facebook, go ahead and request to become friends. So that I can, if I have to send out an invite, I can do it from my page, because it doesn't let me do a whole lot from my regular Facebook page. Okay, so here is the first block completely completely put together. We have our 4 cornerstones, we have our 4 sashings, and now everything that we do is going to build on this one square. So let's finish up this row real quick, and then we're going to start the next row as well. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put this off to the side for just a minute. Let's go ahead and I think we can pretty much pick our spot as long as it's either here or here. Well, I think it needs to be right here. So we're going to put this one here. And then we're going to stitch that. And then we're going to put this one here. Okay, that is both of the other blocks from the top row. Now I'm going to grab row 2 and do the same thing, except that I don't have them ironed. So let me iron them real quick. Or trimmed, apparently. So I will say that the quilt that's on the wall behind me, and I will go ahead and put that up real quick so you can see it for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. So this quilt behind me has already been sold. Donna saw it, she loved it, and she has to have it. So that one's already sold, but I will still have at least 2 others that I'm going to put up on my Etsy as soon as I get them completed. And that, when I say completed, I mean quilted and bound and everything. So I'll probably have some more binding coming your way, Miss Claudine. Miss Claudine does my binding for me. I probably shouldn't tell you guys that so you don't keep her all busy with binding stuff. Okay, this goes this way. Okay, so remember, the sashing on these goes to the left. I'm sorry, the right goes to the right, and we're going to put this up here, nest this up against that seam so that it matches up. Oh, let me get that off of there. Okay, so that matches up. So we're going to get that on here on the top first. And at this point, on the row 1, we don't have to worry about the left side just yet. But I will show you what we're going to do. So we're going to put the first 2 together, okay? Now let's go ahead and stitch those down. Got them all ready to go. And you could go ahead and do all of them, but let's just go with the first 2 for right now. Grab our favorite thread trimmer there. I know it's got a technical name. This one says it's called the cutting gizmo. I just thread chain piecer cutter thingy. All right, and once again we're going to iron them all. Let's get them all together here real quick. Hopefully they'll stay in order. All right, so we have the top, we have the right side, and now we're going to do the bottom. So let's go ahead and put on another section. I feel like my foot squished it a little bit because a couple of these are really came down a lot at the end. See, like I got, this should be 12.5 exactly, and it's coming down. So I wonder if it squished some of that. Because maybe my foot was a little too tight. Alrighty. So we have these ready, and we're going to stitch these down, and then we're going to start putting those first 2 rows together, and then you should be good to put the rows. Snip these apart. Make sure I got all the little pieces off of there. And they should be in order. If you've kept them in order, you should be good. Okay, so let's go ahead and put where is it at? Which way do I want to do it? Yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, so this one's going to go with this one. I'm going to pin it real quick. And nicely enough, they are nope, there's it is. That's what it is. So this one, oh, that's just because it's not in the right place. Okay, never mind. I was going to say I was afraid they were not ironed to the proper side, but nope, they were just fine. Okay, so this one's going to go on this side, and I'm going to pin it right in the middle here so we can flip it over real quick. Okay, so we have these two pieces together, and then these two pieces are going to go together, so that when they're done, this is one whole row. Okay? Now, we have the top and the bottom. Here's where I think I made my error. My error is, oh, I could just turn it. Yeah, that's what I could do. Okay, all right. That'll work. Okay, so we kept them to the right side. No, that's still not going to work. Okay, all right. Yeah. Scrap it. Just scrap it. Okay. Let me see. Top, bottom. This one goes this way. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to take one of these tops off. And it just depends on there. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's put this piece together real quick. I'm gonna have to do a lot of cutting when I do this video. Okay, let's come over here. Do. So hopefully this is the only time we're going to need to use the seam ripper. All right, so here's the thing. We're going to make the first one is going to go in a U. So we can just turn this one, and this one is correct, so that the top is open. And then we're going to connect this piece to this piece. But on the second one, it needs to be in an L shape, a backwards L shape. So we need to take off this top piece, and it's going to go right here. Okay? And then we're going to do the exact same thing to this piece, and same thing, it's going to go in the top piece. The good thing is that first one, it doesn't matter which way it's turned. And most of these are like that, except for like the heart. I think the heart and the flag are the ones that are the most sensitive to direction. They're directional. All these others are, that's not true. There's a couple more in there that are more directional. If you're wondering what I'm using, I am using this is an an eyebrow razor. It is covered with thin little wires so that it doesn't dig in. But if you have a double stitch or a back stitch, it will mess up. It will not work out the way you want it to. Okay, let's do that other one. I believe that's this one. Yes. Okay. And this one I want to go this way, so we're going to take this top piece off. Excuse me. Got to get it started. And they do dull quickly, so I actually go through quite a few of them. And I turn it towards the top fabric just a little bit. And if you're not really good at using it, I mean, you want to get better at using it, but if you're not really good at using it, if you haven't had some practice with it, I would use it only on stuff that, yeah, I was going to say, if you're not used to using it, I would only use it on stuff that you're, you know, if you mess up and cut it a little bit, it's going to be okay. Don't use it on anything, if you're not accustomed to it, don't use it on anything that if you put a hole in it, you're going to cuss yourself for it. So that's my thing. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I've actually gotten better at it, but I still cut occasionally, so I try to be careful. Okay, so the first one in every row is going to be a U, except for the top one. The top one was all the way around. So the first one in the row is going to be a U. The second one is going to be a backwards L shape. The backwards L shape. And the third one is going to be a backwards L shape. And this is on rows 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, and 4. Okay? 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 2, 3, and 4. Yep, okay. All right, let me get this out of the way. Actually, you know what? Let's get this. I'm sorry, I got to get it back in here. All right, so this is my third one in the row, and this is my second one in the row. So we're going to stitch this one down to this one. I'm going to line that up. And sorry about that. That's my alarm clock, or my hall clock. See, this is when you need to, yeah, definitely. You need a design wall. And you know what? I meant to take the design off the wall so we could do this, and I kind of forgot about it. All right, let's come on over here and sew. I'm going to kind of line it up just to make sure it looks good, so that it's straight. And here it goes. Oop. Yep, there you go. You heard it. I ran over my pen. Okay. Here. Let me go ahead and take this one down. That was only to show you a different way to do it. So let's get that out of the way and that out of the way. And put this top piece up, although I haven't ironed it all the way. It'll be all right, right? There. So pretty. Okay, well, you can see it in a minute. Okay. Hang on. Apparently I don't have it on there. Okay, there we go. All right. Now we're going to come over and take the second L shape. Let me entertain you. Okay, so let me just show you what we've got so far. Ah, my finger's stuck. And hopefully this will help with the visualization. Yeah, thanks for mentioning about the wall, because it just completely lost it on that. Okay, so on the first block that we did, we did the whole on the outside, the whole way around, and then on these others, we did one this way, and then we did here this way, okay? And then we put them all together, all right? Now for the next one, we needed a U shape, so we did a U shape for the first one. We put border here, here, and here, okay? And then we added that other border on the bottom here, and the other border on the bottom here. So we had, let's see, originally we stitched down this one to this one and this one. And then we came back and we put this piece on here all the way on this one, on this one, on this one. And then we needed to put one here. Okay, everybody follow me so far? I hope I'm not clear as mud. Hopefully this made sense. Okay, so let's get this last piece right here and get it pinned and get it sewn up, and then we're going to put it up on the board and you can see it. Well, I kind of hope this one would go a little faster for you, but I don't feel like I'm going very fast. I feel like I'm going really slow. And this is where I had to pull the pin over, or pull it over away from it to be able to match those up. Okay, and I'm going to put a pin right here. Black on black, it's hard to see. And then I'm going to go from this side. Okay. And I'm feeling to make sure that my seams from the bottom, if they flip up, they wind up laying back down again. Can you see how it wants to pop up? I'm just feeling with my fingers to make sure it stays down. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, so there's row 2. Everybody get it? They look normal? Look right? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll sew that up in a minute. Let's go ahead and do the next ones. So we make sure we have it straight. Like I said, I was hoping I wasn't going to keep you on here very long, but after doing this, I'm like, oh, crap. We're going to have to, I'm going to feel really bad if I leave you hanging. Okay, so let's iron these down. There it is. I don't know where it went to. kind of funny because I did this once already, and I did it last night, so I should be familiar with it. Then I realized what I did last night was I did them on point, so it's kind of different. And I did have it laid out on my design wall, so I could pull off each row as I went. Okay. So here's the gist. Oh, all right. Doggone it. There. Okay. So here's the gist. Let me see. Let me make sure. Okay. You can see it now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the first one across the bottom, and we're going to do the first one of every single one of these. Okay? I'm going to iron these real quick so they're straight and flat again. Because you only have just enough to do the borders. Okay. So we've got the one on the right side. This is the right side, and now we're going to do the one on the bottom. And every single one will get one for the bottom. So funny, the others were coming up short, and this one's coming up a little bit long. Or the others were coming up long, and this one's coming up short. I don't know. It's just funny how that works sometimes. Okay, and then there's this one. And then this one. All right, we've got them all pinned down, and we're going to move them over here to the needle. Okay, so this one is the one that's going to be on the end. And it goes up like this, and we're going to iron it. Where's my video signal? Okay, am I back? Oh my God, that was scary. I lost signal for a few minutes. Hope everybody hung in there with me. I don't know what happened. No clue. Okay, so this is number 3 block. I'm going to put this one on the wall so we see where it goes. This one is number 2 block. Two block of that row, of row 3. I'm going to put that right there, and I'll show it to you in just a minute. All right, now here's where we need to do something different. This is block number 1 of row 3. Did you get me back, Miss Claudine? I'm back. Okay. Now this is what the block looks like when it's on the quilt. And so what we want to do is we want to add 1 strip on this first block. So let me show you where it is. I don't know, can you see me? Hang on, let me find. Okay, where'd it go? There it is. Okay, so down here on the bottom corner, that's where this one is going to go. So this block right here is going to go right here. So we need 1 more piece right there in the corner, in this side, and we're going to add that 1 piece. On block 1 of row 3. So again, it's going to kind of create a bit of a U shape for that block. Oh, glad I'm back, Miss Claudine. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It's like the internet just went down for a second. Okay, so let's go ahead and add that piece on there. Yep, I guess I'm gonna find that pin. Oh, there it is. Whew, didn't even fall on the floor. Wow. Okay. It hit my shirt and bounced onto the table. Okay. All right, so we're going to iron this open. Add it on. Let me move this up a little bit. Okay, so here is Here's block number 1 in row 3. Okay. So we have row 2, row 1, row 3. The first block in each row is going to do this. Is going to have that U shape. But the next block is going to have the backwards L. You're going to put one across the bottom. You should already have these across here. Those middle parts, because we put those on already. Okay? Am I making any sense here? I'm worried I'm making it more confusing than it needs to be. Which is why I have a pattern writer, because she makes it make more sense. I know measurements. I know most techniques. But occasionally, I get lost in the non-technical jargon. Okay. So let's go ahead and finish up that last row real quick. All right, so this is block number 1. This is block number 2. And this is block number 3. The only thing we need to do to this one is this first block, we're going to put one here and here. The second block, we're going to put one here. And the third block, we're going to put one here. So these two each get one on the bottom, but this one is going to get 2. It's going to get one here and here. So let's start by just putting the ones on the bottom. And I've nested it. And I'm nesting it. And I'm nesting it. Okay. And now we're going to go over here and sew those 3 together. So the next quilt along that we're doing will also be 12.5-inch blocks. 12 one that I don't want to show anymore. Are you kidding me, Miss Claudine? I've seen your work. Your work is beautiful. Don't give me a hard time. All right, let's get this ironed. So this one is the last block, block number 3. And I'm putting here, don't. Miss Claudine says, I'm the only person here. I don't see anyone else. You're funny. But I always have fun. I always have fun at your place. I so enjoy coming over to your place. All right. So this top one is block number 1 of row 4. And we need to go ahead and put that last piece on. And that's the very last piece. You should have one left over, and this should be it. And it is going to go on the the left side of block number 1 of row 4. And I'm not going to worry about that little extra. I don't know why they did that. Again, it's probably just my foot. My foot must be too tight. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this one on. And then we can start getting those rows together. I'm glad to. I so enjoy visiting with you and Carson as well. You know, I call him Carson because that's what everybody else calls him, and now I'm kind of stuck with it. There are more of us. Miss Ann says there's more of us. Yes, there are. And I have so much fun with everyone. And we all get together and we go to Miss Claudine's house and we do the embroidery, and it's so much fun. All right. Okay. And then we're going to iron that piece real quick. Okay. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and put row 4 together, and then we'll go back and put row 3 together. So this is the first block. It has the U shape sashing. Now we're going to put the backwards L shape of the 2 block next to it. Okay. And here's where it's not going to nest. So you have to decide, do you want to flip this one or you want to flip that one? I flip the back one. I have to flip it over by hand. And as the long arm quilter, it's okay to do that just as long as you get in there and you iron that down. Okay. So let's go ahead and get this stitch down. Yeah, sometimes I get to come over to Miss Claudine's house, even when it's not an embroidery class. So we get to laugh and joke. And one day I was helping her with a computer, and probably spent like 2 hours over there trying to get a computer up and running for her. Unfortunately, we were not able to get it to work right, but it was a really good 2 hours. All right, now we're going to put on the last one. So if you can see it in the camera, this is our last, the third block in the 4th row. And we're going to take it, here's the edge. There, you know what, let me just go over here. Not important. Okay. That was not important. I did not need to see that on my phone. Okay, so we're going to take our last, this is block 3 in row 4. Here's number 3. I'm sorry. Blah, 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 blah. Here's block number 1 of row 4. Here's block number 2 of row 4, and this is block number 3. And we're just going to line it up just like that. And you should not have any more sashings laying around. All your sashings should be where they need to be. Well, unless you cut extras, like I had 2 extra that I cut. Okay. And I am going to pin this last little spot right here because it wants to slide around on me. And then let's get this sewn together. Yeah, I did that. That worked out pretty good. Let's see. Oh, I don't even think I lost any points on that one. Well, except for maybe up here at the top. That's okay, I can live with that. All right, let's take a look at what we got here. Okay, so let's get this ironed down. There's a big bulk of a seam right underneath there, so we're going to iron it this direction. All right, and that is row number 4. Let's see if that helps. Oh, that iron in me. I have to tell you, those Olisas must be really, really good because I beat the tar out of mine a lot. You know, I moved that up and it's still not up there. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it because it's looking... I'm not doing myself any favors. I think it's making it worse. Okay. Says I can go a little higher. Let's see if that helps. Oh, it'll even go a little higher. Okay. Okay. Now you get to see my whole wall. As you see over here on the right, those are my postcards that Miss Diane sends me. And I got a couple over here too. Anyways, okay, so I don't know if you can see all of them. So these are all 4 of the rows. We're going to stitch all of those together. You can do that on your own time. And we need to, I think we still need to get the row 3 stitched together. But you're going to put them all together. Now, let's talk about the borders. Here's what I need you to do, and I need you to promise me this. Once you get all these rows together, because again, I don't want to keep you on the phone on here for much longer. Once you get all these rows stitched together and you're ready to put the borders on, decide whether you want to do, because you can do a miter if you want to, but this isn't, you know, this is designed to be easy, so let's just do one side at a time. Either do both top and then bottom, and then side to side, and stick with it. If you go top to bottom, then side to side, then do the next border that way as well. Here's what I want you to do. Do not just stitch together your borders and just put them on. I want you to measure, if you're doing top to bottom, I want you to measure from the center of your quilt from top to bottom. Get your number, okay? They say to do left, right, and center. Just do your center. Okay, find out the size of the quilt from top to bottom, cut a strip that big, and then I want you to get it down, do 2 of them because you're going to need 2, and I want you to put it from one end to the other and get it to fit, and it should fit. If your blocks are 12.5 and your sashings are on there properly, it should fit. If you just cut a long strip and put it down the side, what's going to happen is your feed dogs are going to inevitably pull in more fabric while you're stitching, which creates that wrinkly thing in your borders, those waves in your borders, which I have taken out as much as 3 inches, sometimes more, of fabric that didn't need to be in there. And when you're a long armor and you're trying to stitch that stuff down, you're trying to ease it in, you can only ease in so much. I can maybe ease in 1 inch, and that's all the way through. I have to try to ease it in all the way through the whole quilt, and that's very hard to do. So just this one time, I want you to do this and see what a difference it makes. Measure it from the center and cut your strip to exactly that size. and then put the strip on both edges. Then when you're done, iron the edges down, and then again, measure and from the center, from side to side, and do the top and bottom. And I don't care which way you do it, but just do it that way, okay? So, I don't think I actually have my ruler. Yeah, I do. Here it is. All right. So if you're going to do the sides first, measure from side to side. So it says that let's just say this one says it's 45 inches. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces at 45 inches, and I'm going to put one across the top and one across the bottom. Okay? And then when I'm done with that, I iron both ends, and then I'm going to measure from here, from this top to this bottom. And when I get that number, this is after I put put these pieces together, okay? Don't try to measure it until you have it all put together. But then when you get that number, then that's what you're going to cut from your sides, okay? Try it that way. Do not just slap a long piece, a long strip of fabric onto your edges. This is where a lot of people, if it's just a table runner or a placemat, a wall hanging, that's not that big a deal. It's not that far. But when you're doing a quilt, even a throw size, where you're trying to put on a border and all you've done is cut a strip and you just cut the extra off, believe it or not, it does create a lot of extra. It creates a lot of extra that doesn't need to be in there. So pin, pin, pin. Pin the top, pin the bottom. If you're doing it, if you're pinning from this side to this side on your quilt, you want to pin one side here, and then straighten it out, pin the center, and then pin a couple more times here, and then pin a couple more times here. If you use clips, but work it in so that all of that strip is on there evenly, okay? And do it for both sides. Iron, open them up and iron them, and then measure again and find out what that is. Okay, if you have any problems with it, please call me. Call me, text me, whatever you need to do. Email me, you know my email. And let's get you straight, okay? That's what we want to do. We want to make sure we get you straight. But I really want you to do your borders this way, okay? Don't try to just do the strips. Do it this way, just this one time, and see what a difference it'll make. All right, I can't wait to see your quilts. I can't wait to see what they look like. Again, we would go ahead and finish it this way, but it's getting really late, and I really don't want to keep you on that long today. You guys have been fabulous. Keep coming back to the Sundays. We got the next quilt coming up. If you're not sure if you're on, go ahead, send me another email. I promise I will tell you, I've got you. I've got you. You're not going to have any condemnation for me if you say, oh, I'm not sure if I'm on there. Make sure you have me for the next quilt, because you want to stay on that mailing list. And I will only mail people who want to be emailed. I do not want to send emails to people who don't really want to do it. So if you don't really want to do it, then you don't have to do anything. I won't send you an email. But if you want to stay on the emailing list to get the next one, which is going to be a lot of fun, I promise, go ahead and make sure, if you're not 100% sure, go ahead and email me again. I promise. I would rather have 2 or 3 emails from you just trying to make sure you're on the list than wind up not having you on the list. Okay? Let's go ahead and do our closing prayer real quick. And again, I just want to say thank you so much. This has been so much fun, and I have so enjoyed this. And again, I can't wait to see how your quilts turn out. Don't forget, you don't have to do a border if you don't want to, but I think you'll like it. I think you'll like the way it looks. All right. Father, thank you so much. I am beyond words with your grace and your mercy, and with what you have brought us, where you have brought us. I thank you for an opportunity to reach out and to be in the homes of other people right now, that we get to share our time, our passion, our love, and our fun. And I just give you all the honor and all the glory. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Listen, you guys have a great week. I know I'm going to see some of you at the guild meeting on Monday. Some of you I may even see at the meeting before the guild meeting. But don't worry, we'll be there. We'll be ready for you. We get to start. We're starting a whole new year, and I can't wait. I just know we're going to have great things. You guys have a fantastic week, and I will see you soon.